welcome to Off the Cuff. Glad you can join us, and we hope you all enjoyed your Thanksgiving holiday with family and friends. We are broadcasting from the Wilkin on Minnesota Avenue.
Yeah, special thanks to Tom and Peggy Materi and Kyler Materi. They were super gracious to host this episode of Off the Cuff, and what a better place to host a show on nostalgia and welcoming back the Breckenridge Cowgirls back into town after a state tournament and welcoming 40 years worth of Cowgirls back since the last time the Cowgirls went to state.
Yeah, think about that. They were dominant back in the 70s, talking about the Cowgirl volleyball programs. Trips to the state tournament in 75, 78, 79, and 80. And we'll have a number of players from those teams that we'll be visiting with later on in the program. That should be a lot of fun.
It should be a lot of fun. In fact, we call them the OGs. They're the old girls, but they wear that with pride. So tell me about your Thanksgiving. What did you do?
Well, it was a strange Thanksgiving.
Really?
The first time that I can remember where we weren't out at Granny Joe's for Thanksgiving. My mother was up north at my sister's place for Thanksgiving, so it was me, Stephen, and Shaylee all alone.
Quiet.
My first Thanksgiving dinner. And
How'd you do?
Too bad.
How'd you do cooking the turkey?
Not so bad. The dressing was spectacular, although I had some help from Granny.
Of course you did.
All I had to really do is throw it in the oven.
Yeah, of course. She always takes care of you.
And plenty to be thankful for. Very bountiful fall again at the Moak family gathering.
Well, you know, we made the trip down to Missouri. It's about a 10-hour drive, and it's Allie and Sam live down in Carthage, Missouri, and we went down to celebrate Thanksgiving with them, and what a great place to go. I mean, they've got this commercial goat farm that they're running. Allie teaches at a school in Webb City near Carthage, and they have this large goat farm. And when I say large, I mean hundreds and hundreds of baby goats are being born this month. And there's nothing better than snuggling a new baby goat. Just the most adorable animals, and they're so playful and so fun. So we took the drive down there and had a blast. Just a great way to celebrate.
So tell us about the goat farm. What happens to these goats then?
So the goats are raised for meat. That goat meat is the #1 consumed red meat in the world. I did not know that until they made this investment. Yes. So this is a big venture for them, and you know they're right now they're in the process of they're kidding. It's called. That's what baby goats are called, kids. And most goats, when they kid out, the first time they'll have one, the second time they'll have twins, and then most often the third time they'll have triplets. So some of these goats are second-year moms, and they're having twins and triplets. So it's just fun to see this, and then they'll sell the goats to market.
You didn't bring a baby goat back.
Well, I wanted to.
They are cute.
I really wanted to.
I've been doing some traveling too since last minute. I took the trip down to Deadwood, one of my favorite small towns I've ever been.
Did you do some gambling?
They have the sports book down in.
So how does that work?
Deadwood, just like Vegas. You can bet on all the college and pro games, and there was plenty to bet on. Now the college basketball has started. You still got college football and the NFL. So that was. So
did you do anything like sightseeing wise, or just gamble?
The wind was so bad down there. You know, we had brought our club. The plan was to do some golfing down there. There's some great golf out there in the Black Hills, and we looked at the forecast. It looked decent, temperatures in the 50s, but the wind was just. You know, they get the Chinook winds there.
Chinook?
Yeah.
Out of Canada.
It was. It was really windy. I'm talking like 50-mile-an-hour winds every day. As a matter of fact, there were vehicles that tipped over on the interstate.
Because of the wind?
A couple of days before we came home because of the wind. And the last time we were out in South Dakota, it was the same thing. Coming home from Deadwood, we ran into some serious wind near Miller, South Dakota, where it's basically a dust storm. Mm-hmm. The visibility was
that bad?
We had to turn around.
Did you do any sightseeing?
Well, again, the wind we were planning on going to Devil's Tower, which is only about an hour and 15-minute drive from Deadwood.
Sure.
But
so how far is Deadwood from Rapid City?
Probably about a half hour. Or maybe even less, 25 minutes.
So did you go to Mount Rushmore?
We went to Mount Rushmore. We spent a night in Rapid City.
How were the crowds? I'm curious.
Very quiet. You'll never.
Really?
Well, they have worker issues that you can imagine in Deadwood this time of the year. There were places that weren't even open
because of staffing.
Yeah, until during the week, and then on the weekends they'll bring people in. Very quiet. You know, we went for 6 days. So we were there during the week. was really quiet, and then it started to rock again on
the weekends.
On the weekend.
Yeah, I haven't been to Deadwood for probably 25, 30 years maybe, so I'd like to go back. I know it's pretty popular.
It's really a beautiful state, you know, and we didn't drive the interstate. We drove through the heart of
really?
South Dakota.
Took the back roads.
The capital here. I didn't realize how small the capital of South Dakota. What do you think the capital of South Dakota, the population?
The capital
South
here?
Dakota is
75,000.
13,000.
That's like Waupun and Breckenridge.
Yeah,
that is interesting.
Just a beautiful city, but I thought it was much bigger than that.
Did you see any deer?
Dances with Wolves, one of my favorite movies, was filmed just outside of here in South Dakota.
Kevin Costner.
So we had a lot of fun.
Did you see any deer?
A lot of fun. All kinds of deer. And they're just thick down in South Dakota. Now your dad went out west, didn't he?
Well, it was an exciting 5 days for Anna. So Anna and her grandpa, my dad, Weldon, went out to western North Dakota, and Anna brought her boyfriend Seth, and it's a good thing she brought him along because Seth did a lot of the walking for him. But they went out by Williston. I'm not sure what the name of that unit is out there, but they were mule deer hunting. Both my dad and Anna had a buck tag, and Anna called one afternoon all excited. She bagged her buck, and it was very exciting. I think it was like a 3x4 or something, a very nice first mule deer buck for her, and she was just excited. So was happy for her, and they just had a great time.
Well, didn't you get your first deer out in North Dakota?
I've gotten this is what I like to say: 2 tags, 2 bullets, and 2 bucks. That's what I've got.
2 tags, 2 bullets,
and 2 bucks. That's right.
I do remember that. So how was the trip for Weldon? I hear there was a little mishap out there.
Well, he'll be very happy you brought that up.
Yeah.
And his granddaughter Anna is not letting him forget about what happened. So they were driving along like a maintenance road, and there was probably a 3 or 4 foot ravine right beside the road, and he was looking for deer and got a little close to the ravine and tipped the pickup down into the ravine, and it was quite an ordeal. So Anna and Seth and my dad did not have the phone number of the rancher whose land they were on. Dad left it back in Lidgerwood, so Anna had to walk up a butte to get cell phone service to call home.
That is out there.
That is out there. So she called me and she's like, I don't have Glenn's number. Can you help us out? So, long story short, we ended up getting her the phone number. The guy came and he had to bring a tractor to lift the pickup up to get it out of the ravine. And the crazy thing is, after seeing it down in the ravine like that, not a bit of damage on it. If you can believe that. I mean, it was quite a process getting it out.
Very fortunate.
Yeah, very fortunate.
And
Anna was very upset.
For Weldon.
Well, Anna,
so close.
Yeah, stay away from the side of the ravines. Yeah, and Anna won't let him forget that either. So
a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Well, that's good. Well, it was a good Thanksgiving for the crew over at Breckenridge High School. Plenty to be thankful for.
That's right.
This fall, the Breckenridge Cowboy football team, section champs, and what a year it was for the Breckenridge Cowgirl volleyball team.
It was so fun to watch them, and it was so, thankfully, Brian and Joe were able to do a lot of the Cowgirl volleyball games, and it was fun to watch, and it gave everybody, around the area an opportunity to watch how good that team was. So it was just a great ride for them, and I wonder if those girls really understand, the current Cowgirls really understand what it means to go to the state tournament. And I'm thinking years down the road, it'll really have maybe more of an impact.
Those tournament runs are so fun. Mm-hmm. They bring the community together. I mean, everybody in the community was so excited. That's a long time, over 40 years since the last trip to the
once in a lifetime.
Yeah, and again, the Cowgirl teams back in the 70s, they were dominant. They took trips to the state tournament in 75, 78, 79, and 80, and we're very fortunate to have a number of those players here tonight.
Well, we have a great group of gals back, and we're excited to visit with them, so we're going to break quick, and we come back, we're going to visit with the alumni, the Cowgirl alumni, coming up next.
When you dine at the Wilkin Drink and Eatery, you're among friends. So relax and enjoy everything from sizzling sirloins, mouth-watering seafood, vibrant salads, and crowd-pleasing desserts. The Wilkin also serves the best pizza in town. Dine in or carry out after 5. The Wilkin Drink and Eatery, gracing Minnesota Avenue since 1897.
Bundling auto and home insurance is a great way to save money and precious time. Amanda Frederick, your State Farm agent in Breckenridge, will make it easy and convenient with your local, fully licensed staff ready to help make sure you're protecting the things that mean the most to you. Their team is ready and knowledgeable in farm insurance, life insurance, business, home, and auto insurance. So stop by or call Amanda Frederick, your State Farm agent on Minnesota Avenue in Breckenridge, or call 643-8511.
Did you know that we serve nearly 1,500 square miles across North Dakota and Minnesota? Or that we've been around for over 60 years? How about that we've got 3,000 miles of fiber optics powering one of the best networks in the region? The best part? We're a cooperative. That means we're continually reinvesting in our communities to make them better than ever. We are Red River Communications. We've been recognized as a leader for helping our communities be great places to live and work. To find out how we're helping connect our communities, visit redrivercom.com/connecting.
We are excited to be joined by members of the Breckenridge girls volleyball teams from 1975, 1978, 79, and 80. And I'm using maiden names here, names they went by back in the mid to late 70s. We have the lovely Sue Abel, Therese Cohays, Geraldine Tefer, Lori Yagi, Grandma Lund, Cheryl Lund, Mary Mozoff, and Sue Singelman.
And welcome, ladies. We appreciate you joining us tonight.
And I'm getting educated here. I didn't realize that the volleyball program in the volleyball program in the state of Minnesota didn't start until 1974. The Cowgirls were in the state tournament in 1975, their very first year as having a volleyball program.
Well, that's pretty special. So we'll start with the OG, Cheryl.
Old lady.
So we're gonna pass the microphones around so everybody has a chance, and we've got some good audio. So Cheryl, okay. 1975.
We started volleyball, and we were lucky enough. Our coach, Luann Thorvaldsen, had a sister play for MBSU, the Bison. Go Bison. And she had their team come down, and they taught us the techniques, basically how to play the game, how you're supposed to, and we all caught on evidently quite well. We lost 2 games my senior year, and we lost to Moorhead, and they had played the year before, and we lost to Alexandria, and they had played before. And then we were fortunate to win at that time the district, the region, and we went to state in 1975.
Yeah, the four-band a little different back in the 70s than it is in the current days. Cowboy and Cowgirl fans may remember the District 21 tournament.
Yep.
You had to win 3 times. Same teams back then as...
we played Rotsey. Oh, you're going to catch me off guard here. I remember Rotsey, and we beat Verndale maybe or somebody. But...
so 5 games, 3 district games and 2 region games to get to the state tournament?
Correct. And we got lucky enough to win.
Do you remember, am I putting you on the spot, do you remember most all the girls that were members of that team?
Yeah. Can I look real quick?
You certainly can.
Absolutely.
I absolutely do remember them. Get on there.
So who was the Hellraiser on the team, Cheryl? I have a pretty good guess.
Okay, really, Julie? You have to ask it, what would be the reason of that?
Not to put you on the spot or anything, Cheryl.
Mary King. I got a brain fart here. Is that Squid? Jermaine Freeze. No, that one is. And Lisa, Patty Tolbert, Jane Podjiski, Lisa Deal, Jeannie Reddick, Beater.
Jeannie Reddick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ellen Cam, Annie Alzheimer, and the illustrious me. Oh, Diane Crump was the second one I missed.
So you had a fair amount of girls on the team for the first year.
Oh, we had the same amount that we had for basketball. They all came out for volleyball.
Wow.
What do you remember about your trip to the state tournament that year?
I can absolutely tell you it was blizzarding. Ralph Pacell brought his his coach bus, which we were so excited for because girls didn't get that. So we had Ralph and Jean, and Kenny Beimer was our driver the whole years, and he loved us girls and took very good care of us. And Ralph gave us the charter, so we got to go to the big.
That's a big deal.
That was a very huge deal. And we got stuck in a snowstorm on the interstate. They closed it, and we got stuck in a restaurant, a cafe along the road. And Ron Ekron, our athletic director, was surprised by how much food these girls could eat because we're on the school's bill. And we eventually got to where we played. I believe we played at St. Cloud State.
That's where the state tournament was?
At that time, yes. And we got there just a tiny bit before we had to play our first match.
Just in time.
Yes, and we played Moose Lake, and we were like little tiny children getting off a Greyhound bus, and we walk into a big Minneapolis metropolis. Moose Lake destroyed us in 2 sets, and it was an eye-opener. Yeah.
Well, this had to be fun. This Cowgirl run this past fall had to be a lot of fun for you.
It was extremely fun, and I got to connect with my head coach and my assistant coach, which was fabulous, and share memories. And it was very good.
Cheryl Lund, a member of the 1975 girls volleyball team, the very first volleyball team to play competitively in Breckenridge, and they take a trip to the state tournament. Cheryl, I'm glad you could make it here tonight. This has to be a lot of fun. I see there was some pre-gaming going on tonight. I suppose a lot like, well, I don't know if there was pre-gaming going on back in the 70s, but there certainly was some post-gaming, I bet, going on back in the 70s. But this has to be a lot of fun for you guys to.
It's been fun seeing all of them. They're much younger than I am.
Well, you set the stage for him, Cheryl. You and the rest of that 1975 crew.
School, working and coaching.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Well, thanks for being here tonight, Cheryl. We'll pass the mic over to Mary Mosoff. Mary, great to see you again. It's been a long, long time. Now, you were a member of the 78 volleyball team, the next team that made it to the state tournament. Do you remember what happened in 76 and 77? Were there tournament runs back in 76 and 77? Sue,
I don't remember.
Do you remember if there were?
I do.
Geraldine?
Of course she does.
I do, because I'm really still mad at losing to New York Mills in the Region 6A championship, and Jen Miller was a dominating force. She was one hell of a spiker. And she went on to play at NDSU. She was named an all-state volleyball player, and she was just tough to come up against. But we got them back the next year.
So there were competitive runs in the tournament in 76 and 77. Mary, what do you remember about 78? And can you remember some of the teammates you had in 78?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we had Cheryl and her classmates as our kind of our role models, because they got to kick off girls sports, because literally we were laughing about it, there was nothing for us really except Girls Athletic Association. So when volleyball came along and girls basketball, I mean, everybody went out, and there were a lot of phenomenal athletes. We had Lori, Geraldine Tree, Cindy Heidemann, Barb Tolbert, Cindy Byer, I mean, Sarah Susan Guth, Heidi Ball, Janet Byer. I mean, we had so many. I mean, they actually had to cut.
Wow.
We had big classes and we had big teams.
So do you think Title IX was the reason that they implemented girls volleyball?
Definitely happened.
Yeah, it's funny that even before the Cowgirls made their run, I told Julie we should consider doing a story on the girls basketball program back in the 70s, because that's what I remember some great runs in the basketball program, and I didn't realize that girls basketball didn't get started then till that hadn't always been around then, huh? When did girls basketball start in Minnesota? Does anybody remember? Really? Yeah.
There you go. Jane Politiski was on one of the first teams, so Maureen and Bush, yep.
They played basketball when I was there.
My sister played basketball. She graduated in 73.
Yeah.
So when looking at some of the pictures that have been shared, and Sue Smith, scrapbooking, she's got some amazing scrapbooks that she's shared, and so I think she must have been like one of the official record keepers of like the archives of Cowgirl volleyball, but also Geraldine also had some pretty good memories. In fact, she shared a picture with me. She saved, you know when you stay in a hotel where there's the maid service, please, the sign? She has a picture of the maid service, please, and the hotel key back when you didn't have key cards, back when it was the old-fashioned actual key that you used to get through.
That was my first trip out of Canada. What do you
Say, before we get any deeper, we got to take a break. Yeah. We're having a lot of fun here with the gals, members of the volleyball teams from 75 to 80 in Breckenridge. We'll be back. We'll do some more reminiscing right after this on Off the Cuff. Since 1996, Giants have been a go-to snack for quality. Giants works directly with farmers to ensure you're receiving the best Giant seeds in every bag. From planting to harvest, they ensure the quality and attention sunflowers deserve to deliver the best taste possible. Giants cashews and pistachios continue our tradition of making the finest nut available. They're a fan favorite. Whether you're in the mood for dill pickle, sour cream and onion, or bacon ranch, we have the flavors to satisfy your cravings. Giant Snacks, where quality still matters. That's the Giants difference.
Better living begins at home, and Three Rivers Decorating in Wahpeton is your personal designing service. New flooring in your home can totally change its look and feel. Three Rivers Decorating has dozens of vinyl plank designs to choose from, along with carpet, tile, and linoleum. Whether it's updating your home's interior or retail space, Three Rivers Decorating has all of the latest styles and trends. They also offer free estimates. Give them a call today, 701-642-8454.
Auto and home insurance is a great way to save money and precious time. Amanda Frederick, your State Farm agent in Breckenridge, will make it easy and convenient with your local, fully licensed staff ready to help make sure you're protecting the things that mean the most to you. Their team is ready and knowledgeable in farm insurance, life insurance, business, home, and auto insurance. So stop by or call Amanda Frederick, your State Farm agent on Minnesota Avenue in Breckenridge, or call 643-8511. Welcome back to Off the Cuff. We're having a lot of fun here at the Wilkin, reminiscing about the Breckenridge volleyball program back in the mid to late 70s. We were joined by left to right, starting in the back row, Sue Abel, Therese Kohace, Geraldine Tefair, Lori Yagi, Cheryl Lund, Mary Mozoff, and Sue Singelman. And Sue, let's go to you now. Now, you were a member of the team that finished second at the state tournament back in 1980. What do you remember about that season?
Oh, goodness. Excitement and the fun that went with it. I could remember, and I spoke at the Pep Fest the other day, and I told those kids these three words were the words our season went by: dominate, eliminate, and celebrate. And then one of our signs on the bus said, "Go to state." So they added to the rhyme as we went along. But I mean, and like Cheryl said, you get down there and we're coming from this small town and there's these huge buildings. We played at the Met
the old Met Sports Center that would have been located in the parking lot at the Mall of America now. And we stayed in the Marriott right behind. I watched the banquet the other night and just brought back memories of the banquets we had before the tournament started. We went out the back of our hotel and we walked about a block and we were at the sports center. And you get in there and it's just awe. You've never played in such a huge place. And then there's games going on that you can watch and just exciting as.
Yeah, life was just a lot different back then. It probably was the first time out of town for a lot of those kids. If not at least the first time to the Twin Cities.
Definitely. Well, you got to remember when my mom drove and we rode in her car, we didn't get to speak.
I remember those days.
It was concentration on driving in Breckenridge. Imagine getting down to the cities.
Yeah. Now, Sue, do you remember some of the rivalries back then? Were some of the rivalries the same as they are today?
It was New York Mills for us.
New York Mills?
I hear that name come up a lot.
Yeah, Janet Carlin was the same grade as I was.
So was she a volleyball player too?
No, she focused on basketball only.
Yeah.
Yep. So for our region,
the Millers.
for our region, in 77, we lost to New York Mills, so we didn't get to go to state that year. But the next year, with these guys as seniors and as a junior and Sue as a sophomore, we took 4th place there. And we beat who in region? I don't remember. And I don't remember who we beat in our region to get there in my grade, but we took 5th place that time, which meant we lost to Moose Lake or Gaylord right away, and then we won 2. So that was a really good year, right before Sue's grade. But as you were all talking about volleyball, I didn't touch a volleyball until I was a freshman in high school. And I remember working with Diane Crump and Tobert. Was it Barb Tobert. And they were teaching us how to bump and set against the commons wall. And I just thought, I'm never going to get this, never. But they were great coaches. Our coaches were fantastic. I had Renee Anderson. Just the respect we had for her and the game, these guys making it to state, we were going to too. They started the tradition and we wanted to continue it. That's how competitive we were.
Absolutely. All right, let's go. So you graduated?
I graduated in 1980,
okay, so
we were in 79.
No,
Sue graduated in 81.
Oh, 81, right.
So they went to volleyball in 80.
Okay. All right, let's get to the next few. These are all 79 grads, correct? Therese, Geraldine, and Lori, there was a trip to the state tournament, and you and Mary was a 79 grad as well. So you guys made the trip down there as well. Do you remember the tournament much in 79?
78.
Or 78, excuse me?
Wow, we get it right.
78.
No, well, I do. I mean, I don't remember a lot. I remember going into the Met and, when we're warming up, in our day it was called bumping the ball. So, and you couldn't even hear it hit your arm because the building was so big and it's like, this is so different and so weird. Geraldine remembers a lot more than me. My biggest thing is, I went down to the state tournament, and congratulations, Margaret, you guys did great. And amazing. The way volleyball has changed is amazing. And maybe that's for at the end, because we have more memories, but volleyball, I mean, there was no specialized playing. You played a 4-2, you didn't have a middle hitter. This was 78. I mean, maybe we did a little bit. I mean, you played all the way around. You played to 18, the best 2 out of 3. You did not score a point unless you were serving.
That's how I remember volleyball.
No,
I didn't realize that.
Yes, it's completely different. You played to 18, the best 2 out of 3. I mean, no libero. No, there was no specialized anything. So the sport has come so far, and for the better. I mean, it's an amazing sport.
Well, there had to be some really long games then, I'm assuming, back in the 70s when you had to serve to
games
score.
without a point.
Yeah.
You know, it could just go back and forth, and yeah.
And didn't it, if you served and the ball hit the net, like it couldn't hit the net, it's a dead ball. So now if you serve and the ball hits the net and it goes over, it counts.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, Sue and I used to rep volleyball, and it was forever. We used to go to Weimar all the time. It's like, is this game ever going to get over? Because it kept going back and forth and back and forth. And it's like 11:30 at night. I go, I just want to go home to go to bed. Remember that, Sue? It was crazy.
Well, let me ask you about your workouts in the summer then. Did you guys get together and practice volleyball? I see a lot of girls out now doing the bumping and all that stuff.
With the sport being so new in Breckenridge, I don't know how I got so lucky to get out of Kent again, but I went to some volleyball camps. I went to one that Karen Schumacher, the Moorhead coach, put on, and we could never get past Moorhead. But they were AA and we were A. I went to a couple at St. John's University, and they had some really awesome volleyball camps. Jana Beyer went with us. She was on Sue's team and became one of the awesome setters for us. So we kind of built on that. But I do want to say something, just coming from experience as a mom watching volleyball. You know, it was my thing, obviously, but I couldn't have went anywhere as a spiker, as we called it, without my little partner here, Mary. You've got to have somebody that's your partner that can read where you're going. And I do want to call out Sue Polly. That girl probably would have been on concussion protocol half the time because we didn't have a libero, but Sue put it all out there on the floor. Except when we got to the state tournament, I mean, we played our hearts out, won the first match, and then we played Gaylord, who won the state tournament, and the same day, we played in the morning, and then we played that night.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that was so Ron Ekron's budget would balance out. We also had to wear the girls' basketball warm-up uniforms. Pretty sure if volleyball was going to take off, so to speak, it took off. But anyway, so we lost to Gaylord, and we have lead feet. We did not play the game that we can play. We had some really good talent. And then the next day, we at least went 3 games in the match, and we came up short on the end of the deal. But I feel good about what we did. We brought home 4th place for Breckenridge, and I think that's about where it's at, except these young girls now, oh my gosh. Congrats to them.
Congrats. And also, I wanted to say, who got All-State on your team this year, Margaret?
You got some All-Staters.
We also have, this was the first All-Stater for Breckenridge, and that was the second All-Stater for us.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
Congratulations.
So these are the 3.
And we mentioned we have the Section 6A Coach of the Year here as well, and Margaret Wilson. Congratulations, Margaret. Let's talk about the coaches now. Now there was a number of coaches in Breckenridge between 75 and 80, correct?
Yep. So who did you start with? Thorvaldson. I had Luann Thorvaldson.
So she was the first coach
She was
ever.
the very first coach, and our assistant was Renee Anderson. And it started when I was a senior, so at 75, I graduated in 76. Luann, she resigned after 76. She was married and she moved away, and then Renee took over at the helm for a couple years, and then Val Swanson came in and took over the program. And then Sandy Jacobson. Yes, and then Sandy Jacobson took over. And
Three different coaches took the Cowgirls to the state tournament between 75 and 80. That was amazing.
A great bunch of athletes that came through. and they were athletes that stuck to their point, and that's what they wanted to be, was athletes.
Well, Breckenridge was very fortunate. I didn't realize basketball started. I thought that started much earlier. So the girls' basketball program and volleyball program in Breckenridge was quite amazing from '74 all the way through '80. Does anyone else have anything they want to add here before we break?
Just one quick note, Wally. When we went to state in 1978, there were 450 volleyball teams in the state of Minnesota. 300 of them were in Class A, which is what our team participated in. But the thing that really surprised me is there were only 10 more women's basketball teams that year. And I thought that basketball would have been much bigger.
Too.
And I was kind of surprised at that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You raised a really good point, Geraldine, about giving credit to your setter. That you can be a great hitter, but it all starts with the pass. If you don't have a good pass to get that ball to your setter and get the setter in the position for your
If you don't
hitters.
have a good bump and then a set.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what the '70s lingo.
This is the bump.
Bump set spike.
But for us spikers, Mary, we had two Marys. We had Mary King, at least in our grade, and Mary Mozoff. And they knew where the ball needed to be. And there were a few girls from Rotsey, especially, that probably remember receiving some of those spikes.
Well, this is part of the group that got girls athletics started in Breckenridge. We're going to break quick. Stick around. We're going to show some school pride when we come back here on Off the Cuff.
There we go.
When you dine at the Wilkin Drink and Eatery, you're among friends. So relax and enjoy everything from sizzling sirloins, mouth-watering seafood, vibrant salads, and crowd-pleasing desserts. The Wilkin also serves the best pizza in town. Dine in or carry out after 5. The Wilkin Drink and Eatery, gracing Minnesota Avenue since 1897.
Since 1996, Giants have been a go-to snack for quality. Giants works directly with farmers to ensure you're receiving the best Giant seeds in every bag. From planting to harvest, they ensure the quality and attention sunflowers deserve to deliver the best taste possible. Giants cashews and pistachios continue our tradition of making the finest nut available. They're a fan favorite. Whether you're in the mood for dill pickle, sour cream and onion, or bacon ranch, we have the flavors to satisfy your cravings. Giant Snacks, where quality still matters. That's the Giants difference. Bundling auto and home insurance is a great way to save money and precious time. Amanda Frederick, your State Farm agent in Breckenridge, will make it easy and convenient with your local, fully licensed staff ready to help make sure you're protecting the things that mean the most to you. Their team is ready and knowledgeable in farm insurance, life insurance, business, home, and auto insurance. So stop by or call Amanda Frederick, your State Farm agent on Minnesota Avenue in Breckenridge, or call 643-8511.
Know that we serve nearly 1,500 square miles across North Dakota and Minnesota, or that we've been around for over 60 years. How about that we've got 3,000 miles of fiber optics powering one of the best networks in the region? The best part? We're a cooperative. That means we're continually reinvesting in our communities to make them better than ever. We are Red River Communications. We've been recognized as a leader for helping our communities be great places to live and work. To find out how we're helping connect our communities, visit redrivercom.com/connecting.
Welcome back to Off the Cuff. Now, before we wrap up, I know you have a special program you would like to mention.
I do. There's an event coming up out in Hankinson at the Hankinson Community Center Saturday, December 11th. This is a fundraiser for the Veterans Honor Flight of North Dakota and Minnesota, and this raises money to send veterans to Washington, D.C. So if you like bingo, I would head out to the Hankinson Community Center. It starts at 3:30 is social, 4:30 is dinner, and 5:30 is bingo. It's a $50 ticket. You get 20 bingo games, 1 drink ticket, and a meatball meal. So head out to Hankinson December 11th.
All right, great event for a great cause. All right, we're going to wrap things up.
Hold tight. Hold tight. One thing. So I know this show is about the the Cowgirl volleyball team, but Sue Smith and her scrapbooking or her mom's scrapbooking ability. She brought me some old newspaper clippings. Cowboys tune up for the season in the Jamboree, and lo and behold, there's number 15 with about a 4-inch vertical.
And you know that one clanked off the glass too, don't you?
Yeah, that looked like a brick going off the fingertips right there. And then there's another one. He's going up.
What are you talking 4-inch vertical? That looks more like a 4-foot vertical there.
Breck displays early season talent, and Raleigh's going up to block a shot. And you're never supposed to leave your feet on defense. That's supposed to be the rule.
Unless you can stuff the dude.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So anyway, thanks, Sue, for the humor.
Yeah, thanks. Gail did a fantastic job. Sue's mom, unbelievable. Amazing. Some of the great photos we have, and it's so fun to look back on. This was so fun to reminisce. We appreciate you all coming in. Now we're going to end it with some school pride, the school song. Here we go.
Give a cheer for Becker's Cowgirl. They will win this game. Get into the spirit of it. We're headed straight for fame. Rock, rock, rock. Boost the score a little higher to beat the other team. BHS will be the victors. Go up for the white and green. Rock, 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 rock.
Thanks for watching Off the Cup. We'll see you next time.